Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. So I have a very special guest with me today. She is a nail artist. Please welcome Tyler, also known as Put Them in the Coffin. Hello, Tyler. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're most welcome. So I want to go ahead and ask, like, where are you originally from and how'd you get started in the nail industry?
All right, well, I'm from Moreno Valley, California, and I guess I got started about 2.5 years ago. Uh, I started cosmetology school in 2019,
Mm,
and I originally went for hair. You're a
mm,
cosmetologist, everything is about hair, but quickly found out I hate doing hair, hate touching it, hate everything about hair. So I was like, well, I have to put my license to good use. So I started doing nails.
mm,
Started taking clients every day there, like just practicing, buying all the little cute glitters and whatnot. It was
mm.
cheap, so people would come all day every day because it's like $17 for a set. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got started. And then like 2020 came, I was a month away from graduating, and the
Right.
pandemic hit. Everything closed, including my school. I worked at the movies at the time, so the
Right.
movies closed. And I was like, I need to make money. So I started taking clients, just a few, because, I wasn't popping. So
Right.
yeah, I'd have them come to my house. It was my friends at first, but then slowly over time, I started building up like a clientele of people throughout the city. So yeah, that's how I got started.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Now, how would you describe like your nail art style? How do you like to do nail art usually?
Oof. Messy. um, I'm definitely a maximalist. I like crazy, like anything weird. I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's my style.
Yeah, yeah, that's really, really cool. Like I see your work as like very, very versatile because I love like how you play with like different like trends, like the gradient like nails and like the chrome and things like that.
Yeah, that's kind of like my thing. I wanted to be able to do everything. Like, I don't want you to just come to me for a solid color set or like a classic set. I want you to show me a picture and then I'd be like, yeah, I could do that. Like, let's try it. I like a challenge. So that's
Mm.
that's what I go for. Challenges.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now, who would you consider to be like your favorite like nail artist, possibly?
Well, of course, Nail by Tab, Nail God, to be honest, like super good, super great. I love Nasty Nails, Tanya, super amazing. I got my
Mm.
nails done by her like once, and that was a great time. Leela Nail Jerks, amazing. Let me see. Nails by Deb, super cool. Ball Pit Addict, amazing. They're super
Mhm.
great at like cartoon character work. Tab is good at everything. Like Tanya's super super great with portrait work too. I love them all. Amazing artists.
Yeah, yeah, they're absolutely amazing, especially with ball pit nails and
Yes.
especially like nails by Dev, and of course, with Tav.
Hmm.
Nails by Tav is just like amazing. Like she did a whole set of like I think it was like toenail art of like eyeballs.
Yes. Yeah. And she only does them for Benny Blanco, and I'm like, you got the coolest toes I've ever seen. I wish. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right, exactly, most definitely. But I also want to get into as well, like what has been your whole experience like having your own nail art studio?
Well, it's not very glamorous because
Yeah.
I started at my grandparents' house. I literally just moved like 2 months ago out of
Oh,
their house and into an apartment with my boyfriend. And now I work in a salon studio setting with another nail tech. I don't know if you've seen Leslie did them, but I work with Leslie.
oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, I get one side and she gets the other side, and then we have like some wax girls and eyelash girls there too. But it's really nice now. Like when I worked at my house, it's cool because I had my own space. It's like
Mhm.
I had a room and then my room next to it, and like the bathroom was
Right.
closed off. So it felt like a studio space, but at the same time, it's kind of weird because people get to come into your house and see how you live, and it's almost too intimate. Like,
Right. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, sometimes you get embarrassed because you have bad days. Like
Mhm.
you don't want to get up and clean or just like be super organized. So that kind of was a struggle, and we also have a lot of animals, so
Mhm.
having to make sure the space was clean was a lot. And then it was super hard to separate work from like my life because I would
Mhm.
wake up, go to the next room over.
Mhm.
That's my nail
Right.
studio. do nails all day, stop, go back to my room. And that's what I was doing all day, every day for like 2 years. So that sucked. But now I get to go to like work, I get to get dressed and get ready and have a place to go. And it just seems more professional. Like it's definitely a step up from what I was doing before.
Yeah,
I'm super
right. Now, what has been your whole like journey like in terms of gaining a clientele and things like that?
You know, it was slow in the beginning. It takes a while to build up the clientele, and even now, like, okay, so before I moved, I had at least 30 clients, and they helped pay the little bit of bills I had. Super grateful for that, but I still wanted like more. Like, I still wanted more clientele. I still wanted more money because I wanted to move out. But now I'm in a completely different city and I'm building up that clientele again. It's kind of like starting from square one, even though like people know of me because my page has kind of grown in the past 2 years. Like 19K followers does not mean 19K clients, unfortunately. So it's like starting from the bottom all over again. Especially now since it's kind of a saturated industry, but at the same time, everybody has their own clientele. So everybody's getting into nail art. So there's a lot to choose from, which makes it hard to kind of build up that clientele again. But I will say moving to the salon has definitely granted me more opportunities. Instead of just having to work with clients one-on-one, I've gotten to work on sets. Like I have clients who pay me a lot. So what I lack in just a steady clientele at the shop, I gain in other work. So yeah, it's cool. I can't complain. It's cool.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Now, in regards to like getting clients, like what like booking apps have worked best for you in terms of like people booking with you?
Well, I preferred having people DM me. Like I would post my availability on my story, and then people would DM me and choose a time, and then they'd send me a deposit. And that's kind of what worked for me for the longest time because it's nice getting to see who's DMing you. And people may not like this, but I can totally tell who's going to be like a nice, respectful client just based off of our interaction in the DMs. So it's helped me weed out like a lot of potential craziness that could happen when they come to my house. And like, I wanted to be very selective with who is coming into my house. So I really prefer the DM method. I did have Squarespace for a minute and people could just book, but then you run into problems with that. Like people don't know how to book. They just select it, like they select it based off the price that you've been giving them instead of like what's the category. So they're like, oh, I paid this amount, so I just selected that amount on there because we always do that. But it's like, no, you should have selected this, even though it's more because it's what I'm doing. Like, so stuff like that you run into. But now I use Mango Mint, which is a booking app through my salon, and it's a little bit easier for me to accept getting clients through a booking app because it's not at my house. So I'm always surprised with who comes in because everybody's new now. But it works out. I like it. It takes the stress away from DMing people and accidentally double booking. So I like it now. Mango Mint all the way.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. But I also want to get into nail education. Now, what is your whole perspective in terms of just nail education and how it could be improved? You know, whether like, you can give your perspective based off of you going to nail school and things like that. So what has been your experience or your perspective in regards to nail education?
Well, let's see. Okay, so cosmetology school, they spend a week on nails. Like that's it. They spend a week on nails. There's
Agreed.
one
Yeah.
chapter. Yeah, everything else is all hair. And they even tell you when you're in school, you're here to learn about sanitation and to learn what you need for state board, and that's it. Once you graduate, you're gonna have to spend hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars on your education. Like you have to go hard with educating yourself. And I have taken some classes. Like I've taken nail jerks class, I've taken Tops class, I've taken a few Gelix courses and like acrylic application courses. But the best way to learn is YouTube. Like YouTube University is it. I have
Right.
watched endless amounts of videos, um, like Young Nails videos,
Mhm.
nail career education videos. A lot of the girlies from Russia really have helped me with my application and cuticle work and all that. As far as art goes, like I would say it would help to kind of whip out a notebook and draw yourself,
Right.
because with the creativity and art aspects, like you kind of have to know how to draw low key.
Hmm.
I'm kind of lucky because my dad can draw, and I think he passed it down to me. So like genetically, I'm set. I know how to draw, and that helps
Hmm.
a lot with like the art aspect. But you have to know how to use your products the correct way, or else the art isn't gonna be as good as it can be. So
Right.
definitely go and watch those YouTube videos. Go and take those classes if you can. Like if you have a favorite nail artist on Instagram or whatever, if they're offering a class, take it because their tips and tricks will help definitely.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, school's not going to teach you. I promise. School is not going to teach you, and I wish they would. I wish more like teachers would go in and explain how to do things correctly. But I
Hmm.
noticed that a lot of the teachers are kind of old school with it,
Right.
and they want you to be salon fast. Like they
Hmm.
don't want you to spend a lot of time on the art of it. They want you to be getting people in and out, quantity over quality. They kind of look down
Hmm.
on you if you're taking hours to do a set, but don't listen to them. Honestly,
Right.
yeah, it would just be nice to have, I guess, a younger teacher come in
Mm.
who's hip to the trends
Right.
to help. Yeah, you just need to be hip to the trends, and some of them are not.
Yeah, right. But I definitely agree because the thing is, they're not going to teach you, how to efficiently do a nail service. Like how you said, it's in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. So they don't teach you in terms of taking your time to produce the best quality of a nail service.
No.
And the thing is that, like how you said, like they only teach you like a week or two of nails, and that's it for cosmetology. Because I'm a licensed cosmetologist myself. And
Yes.
I've only learned like 2 weeks worth when I was in high school taking cosmetology
Mhm.
courses, just nails and that's it. It's
Yeah.
not full depth about nails and
Nope.
stuff like that. It's mostly like how you said, majority hair, a little teeny bit of aesthetics, facials and stuff. And
Yes.
that's it. So, like, yeah, like it should be definitely state board should really be like up to date just in regards to the education.
Yes, definitely. Like it should it should just be okay, you spend a month on hair, a month on nails, a month on esthetician, a
Right.
month on waxing, whatever else. Like or
Mhm.
just I don't know, there needs to be more time spent on each individual thing within the cosmetology practice. Like
Right.
not just hair, because not everybody wants to just focus on hair, you know? And I
Mhm.
feel like that's also why nail technicians don't get as much respect as like a hairstylist. They
Mhm.
just don't spend as much time. Everything else gets everyone else gets their credit. Like the
Right.
makeup, the hair, nails does not. Nobody cares.
Mhm.
We have to be like, hey, can you give us the credit? It's because of how it's set up in school, I feel like. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that as well. I think, we do deserve like our just due in terms of being in the nail industry. Because
Yeah.
the thing is that with nails, it's just as much of a fashion statement as anything else. Same with, just like with hair and with makeup. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like people like to spend a couple $100s on, hair and makeup, but it's like,
Mhm.
yo, like don't be surprised if we ask for 150, 200, $300 for a set of nails.
Exactly. Like it takes just as long to do them. It's just as hard. We spend just as much money on our products, and it's gonna last you just as long as your hair and makeup will. Your makeup's literally gonna last you a day, and your hair's gonna last you a week, and your nails are gonna last you a month or two. So,
Right. Exactly.
yeah. Yeah.
especially people who make press-ons. Like you look at ball pit nails and Viv Shoe, like they charge $200, $300, $400 for a set of press-ons, and
As
those are
they
usable.
should. Yes, exactly. You could save those for a long time if you want. Like they're gonna last you years. But they don't give us our credit when credit's due.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Nail artists matter.
Yeah, nail artists do matter. Put some respect on our name,
Yeah,
please.
right. Yeah, right. Exactly. Most definitely, wholeheartedly. Now, what has been your whole experience in terms of just like working with clients, especially like with different nail beds, nail shapes, and things of that nature?
Anything can happen. What
Yeah.
works for one client may not work for the other client. Like, okay, I love to do gel X, but sometimes gel X just not does not stay like you want
Hmm.
it to. Some people
Right.
are rough, some people clean all the time, some people are just exposed to more chemicals than others. Some people have oilier nail beds, which makes things pop off. Some people have super dry hands. Like,
Hmm.
um, so be versed in everything. Like, don't just learn gel X, learn acrylic, learn how to use builder gel, learn how to use hard gel, poly gel, all that, because one thing might not work for another client. Like, some I just can't put gel X on. I have to sit there and form sculpt a builder gel set on them, and that's the only way it's gonna stay. And it may take a little bit longer, but it's their set will last them like a whole month and a half. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's a learning curve. You know how you could buy like one of those fake hands to like learn
Right.
on, or you do your own nails. You can't just learn properly doing your own nails or
Hmm.
doing it on a practice hand, because it's just one type of hand, one type of nail, like
Hmm.
one type of cuticle. You have to
Right.
learn everybody's cuticles, everybody's fingernails. Like, don't be scared to take your clients in and make mistakes and just trial and error it. Yeah, everybody's not the same, so you have to have the different primers sometimes and the different techniques for sure. Like your cuticle prep and whatnot. Sometimes you have to go in and do a whole Russian manicure on somebody, or sometimes you could go in and just use a sanding band. Like, it's different for everyone. But as you start getting your clients back, like in the chair, you start
Right.
learning their hands and
Hmm.
troubleshooting. And just because they come in, you learn how to work with other people's hands. So it
Right.
becomes easier over time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Because I did take a nail class where it taught like nail prep, and that made total of a difference. Because what I've been taught in nail school was like you do like the cuticle
Mhm.
oil or something like that. No, the cuticle softener. That's
Yes.
how you prep the cuticle. But it's like if you're doing an enhancement, you have to have the cuticle or the nails as dry because that's
Yes.
how the enhancement will stay.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like, I was telling somebody the other day, like, I buy the Young Nail Swipe bottle, like the blue liquid, and
Hmm.
I swear that is what makes the nails stay, because it makes people's hands so dry. I dry out everybody's cuticles so much. They're so ashy by the end of the service. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I needed to do that. It probably hurts. It's so dry. But that is number one, cuticle prep, and making sure those nail beds and cuticles are dry. Like, I go through,
Hmm.
swipe it, and then I'll go one by one and do the primer and dehydrator again to make
Hmm.
sure it's not oily, so the enhancement stays on. You got to be really thorough. Like, don't be afraid to take the time.
Right.
Make sure it stays, especially if you're charging a lot. Like, you just want to give the best quality of work that
Right.
you possibly can, and it just doesn't matter how long it's going to take you. Even if they're huffing and puffing, I'm like, do you want this to last?
Right.
You want to
Exactly.
have a good set. Like, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna be satisfied in the end. So yeah, don't be afraid to take your time.
Yeah, most definitely. Like how you said, quality over quantity. That's what makes a huge difference. But I also want to get into as well. So you do like a mixture of acrylic and gel, essentially.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. What has been like your favorite like brands in terms of like gel and like acrylic?
Okay. So gel wise, I really have been loving Cocois lately. I use
Hmm.
their Excel Builder and Clear, and then I use their Mega Stick base as like the base before I go in with the Builder gel. And I've been able to use nail forms with that very easily. I just go through and do one nail at a time. Do one, put it in the lamp, do the other one, put it in the lamp, and so on and so forth. And then as for acrylic, I really like Young Nails cover powders. I kind of have a hard time with their like colored, any colored powders like Valentino. I have a hard time with Valentino's colored acrylics. I really like cover powders and then going over with a gel polish if I need a color. But if I do get a colored acrylic, I'm gonna get Acrylics. I love Acrylics colored powders because they don't run. Like, if you're a beginner nail tech, definitely go over and get a powder that's not going to run, and the bead just sits there when you place it. That way you can go in and pat it how you need to build that structure. Like, it saves a lot of time. It saves a lot of product when you have something that just sits there instead of running all over, and then you have to worry about like the monomer to powder ratio. That's super annoying. So invest in acrylics for a colored acrylic, and invest in Young Nails for covered acrylic powders. Yeah, super good. 10 out of 10 would recommend. That's all I use.
Yeah, because that's the thing with acrylics. Sometimes when you work with it, you don't have a lot of time to work with it, and plus it can be runny. Like like I'm trying to like sculpt this thing, I'm trying to sculpt this nail or something.
Yeah, and don't let it be wintertime, because then your acrylic does not set fast. It just runs all over the place because it's so cold. But if it's hot, oh my gosh, it sets immediately. Like, you don't know what to do with it. You got to take it off, put it back on again. Yeah. So it's hard. There's definitely a learning curve with acrylic. That's kind of why I like builder gels a lot more. It's easier to sculpt. It doesn't run around as much. Also, I noticed that builder gel stays a lot longer on the nail, and it's just as hard. Like, it's not as hard as acrylic, but it's just as hard and just as good. I think, yeah. It takes a little bit longer to sculpt it because it's gel, but I kind of prefer it. I prefer it now.
Yeah, right, exactly, most definitely. Now, have you ever done like polygel on a client at one point?
Not on a client. I've done it on myself, but I kind of want to get back into the polygel. I think now it's gaining like traction within the nail
Right.
community to use. They call it hybrid gel or whatever.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it a lot more, to sculpt out a nail on a form or on a tip. It'll last just as long. Like, you just have to put down a base coat before you put on a polygel, or else it'll just pop off. But I haven't used it, but I'm looking into the Macart like clear one, because I can't use acrylic at my shop since it smells it up. So I want another alternative, which would be polygel. I'm gonna try it soon, definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. But I also want to get into in terms of like, just in terms of a nail artist putting themselves out there. So what pieces of advice would you give for someone who's trying to put their work out there?
Don't be afraid to post. Like, no matter what you think it looks like. If you think it looks bad, it doesn't matter. Post it. Like, be consistent on your social media apps. Like, consistency is key. Use your hashtags, please. Interact with people who are commenting on your posts. Be friendly. Don't be catty. Don't gatekeep. Share your secrets. Like,
Right.
yeah, just be consistent. That is the biggest thing I could. That's the biggest piece of advice I could give, is be consistent, and that's what everybody will tell you, because that's really what's going to grow your pages, especially
Right.
now with how they test out all these different algorithm things. I don't know
Right.
how this technology wording is, but like, the algorithm on Instagram got me messed up most of the time. Like, I have to post 3 times a day sometimes. I have to at least post once a day. Now I don't really have to as much as I used to, because the more followers you gain, the easier it is for your stuff to end up on the explore page and for people to
Right.
interact with it. And then you just start getting more and more followers and more people looking at your stuff. But
Yeah.
consistency is key in the beginning, like hashtagging. Make sure you're switching up your hashtags. Don't just use the same ones, because that'll make Instagram like put your posts on the back burner and stuff. Now it will. Um, it's just super hard to use Instagram. I hate that it's like that now, because before
Right,
you just
exactly.
post a picture and go, and now you have to make reels. They want us to be content creators, and I'm trying so hard to be a content creator, but
Right,
honestly,
exactly.
anything you film can be content. You'd be surprised at what people like to see. So whether
Mm-hmm.
it be little snippets of cuticle work or you like painting a nail, you'd be surprised. So
Mm-hmm.
use every little piece of media that you have to your advantage for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm working on myself. Like, because everybody's doing reels, and it's like, and plus, it's so much with social media. There's so many apps. You got
Yeah.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, then you got Snapchat, TikTok.
Yes.
Like, it's hard to keep up.
It is super hard, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to get into TikTok as well. But that's
Yeah.
also
Same.
hard because you have to be super consistent with that. And I don't have
Mhm.
enough video like footage to be posting 3 times a day on TikTok. And not every one of your clients wants to be like filmed. And I don't want to be
Right.
sitting there in the salon with the big camera over me every single time I have a client and then trying to fix it and position it. It's just hard. It's hard out
Right.
here.
Yeah.
But
Exactly. Yeah. Most definitely. What is your perspective also on pricing? How has been the journey like in terms of pricing, like your nail services?
oh my gosh, it's been so hard. Like, I feel like that's the number one hardest thing for any type of stylist to do
Hmm.
is price their sets, price their work, put
Hmm.
like a price on their creations, their art. It is so hard to do that. Like,
Hmm.
oh, I would sit there at night and I would be crying like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to price my work. Like, I don't want to
Hmm.
undercharge. I don't want to sell myself short.
Right.
I don't want to cheapen like the work and the industry. But also, I don't want to charge people so much, especially from where I'm from, like Reno Valley. People don't have a lot of money out there. Like,
Hmm.
I felt bad charging a whole bunch of money. So I was like, okay, it'll be 70, $90 for my work. And that's what I was doing for majority of the time. And then people
Right.
would come to me and be like, oh, I go to the salon down the street and they're charging me 160 for what you're giving me. And I'm like, don't tell me that because now I gotta raise my prices. Like so hard. It is so hard. Now it's a little bit easier since I'm working in a salon because
Right.
everybody has like a minimum price and you want to match everybody's minimum price so you're not cheapening the work and also stealing
Hmm.
clients because you're
Right.
doing it cheaper. So base price right now for nail art, like starting price is 160 with extensions. And
Hmm.
then starting price for a manicure one color $60. That's how much I charge. And then of course the more complex the design, the more hours you spend on it, you charge more. I guess then you could maybe, if you wanted to, you could charge by hour, like
Hmm.
have a flat rate, and then once an hour passes, like start adding like $25, $25, or however much
Hmm.
you want to add. But it's
Right.
been a journey. Like, I still feel like I could charge more, but I don't. Like, I would get there. I would get there. It's kind of like an
Hmm.
imposter syndrome thing because I don't feel like I'm that great yet. I don't feel like I'm that good. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like,
Hmm.
I feel like I'm still a baby nail tech and there's so much to learn. So
Hmm.
I'm trying to charge my worth, but it's very hard. But if you're out here making portraits and doing painting Da Vinci on nails and all that, charge a lot, please. If you're sitting there for 3 or 4 hours, please, like, make your money. Don't charge any less than 150 for that, please.
Hmm.
Yeah, make
Yeah.
that coin.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. I started charging like over $100 for like press-ons, and I'm like, yo, like, because I used to do like 40, 50, $60 for like, press-ons. It's like, yo, if I'm doing all this time, doing all this artwork, it's like, yo, charge more.
Yes, definitely charge more. Like, you're
Yeah.
sitting there for hours, especially with press-ons, because then you don't have the client in front of you, so you want it to be perfect. Like, you're sitting there for hours, days at a time, trying to get that set to be perfect. So
Mhm.
charge as much as you feel like you need to charge, because that's a lot of work. Press-ons are a
Mhm.
lot of work, and I don't think people realize that press-ons are
Yeah,
even more work sometimes because you're
right.
being a perfectionist in the moment. Like, it's not, you're not trying to get somebody out of a salon, like you're trying to put in these little details on these nails, and then you're shipping
Right.
them away. Like, charge a lot. I
Mm,
completely understand why people charge so much for press-ons, as they
mm.
should.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now, how much do you charge in terms of nail art? Do you charge per finger or by the hour? Like, how's that go?
um, I think by the hour, definitely not per finger. I could do that. Okay, you know when you watch the Young Nails videos, they're like $5 per everything, like glitter, $5, ombre, $5 extra. Like, I don't do that. I definitely go by the hour. Like, if I'm
Mhm,
sitting there for 4 hours, expect me to start adding on money. I
mhm,
definitely am. Yeah, at least 25 as the hours go
mhm,
on, because I have a set price. Okay, so set price 160, and that's for
mhm.
like something simple, any type of nail art. But then if it's like an intermediate type of design, I'm gonna start at 180. If it's
Right.
advanced or complex design, I'm gonna go to 200, and then we'll go on from there. So
Okay.
I have base prices, and then depending on how much longer I'm sitting there, I'm gonna add like an extra 25 on top of that. So
Right.
that's pretty much how the pricing is. And just because I've been at the salon, now it's starting to get easier for me to
Mhm.
enforce my prices and be comfortable with telling people, like, okay, it's this much at the end. Because there's been so many times where I'm done doing a set and I was working at my grandma's house, and I'd be like, it's time to tell them the total. And I'm like, okay, tell them this much. And then I scamp out and I'm like, no, okay, it's 70 or like 80 or 90. It's so hard to use my voice sometimes. But now it's easier. It's definitely
Mhm.
easier.
Yeah, that's so understandable because it's like you want to tell them like, yo, this is how I'm gonna charge you, but sometimes it's kind of hard because you don't want to overwhelm the person.
Yeah, because then they're like, "Oh, damn! Like, I only brought this much." Like, you don't want to put them in an awkward situation, and you don't want to
Right.
put yourself in an awkward situation. It's yeah, you
Yeah.
try to be nice.
Yeah, right, exactly, most definitely. But I like your nails that you have on now. Like,
Thank you.
did you use chrome? Like, how'd
Oh,
you do those?
like okay, how do the YouTube girlies do it?
Yeah, they
Okay,
look
so
really
it's
cool.
I was inspired by Korean mother of pearl.
Ooh.
And so, okay, if you see the underside, it's like flakes, like
Mhm.
a chromy flakes. So I put that on first in some base gel, and then I put top coat on top of it, and then
Mhm.
rubbed like a chrome powder on it, so it had that little iridescent oil slick sheen to it.
Mhm.
And then I went over it with black, did not cure it, and got one of those little rubber pencil things, and I
Mhm.
etched the design in there. So I went finger by finger and etched a little design like, this one is a flower,
Wow,
and
that's
then
cool.
this one is a bamboo stick, this one is a crane, butterfly, another flower.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
Thank you. I'm like, I don't know how to position my hands in the iPad.
It's all good. Yeah, as long as people see it, it makes a total difference and things like that. But I also want to get into just still within the nail art, realm. What has been your favorite products just in regards to doing nail art? Especially like brushes and gels and things like that.
Okay, so brush wise, I really like Presto Gel. Like their liner brushes, I
Mhm,
really love those. Those are pretty good. I just bought some Cocoas brushes for like builder gel and just putting on a color. I'm gonna try
right.
those out. I feel like they'll be pretty good. The quality on them is really nice. Like the handle itself and even the hairs on the brush, they're not synthetic. They're like real
Right.
hairs. Love those. Um, for paints, I just bought this MPA palette from Hay Nails, and I waited for it to come in. But that seems like the most convenient paint pot palette I've ever seen. Like it has 100 colors in the palette, and
Wow.
it's not a whole bunch of pods. Because you know how people buy the pods now. I like to buy the pods, but now I'm gonna use the MPA palette for sure for everything.
Mhm,
But it's you have to keep it upright, or else it'll like spill. So that's the only downside to it. It has to be upright at all times. And I move my stuff back and forth, like from work to the house to set to somebody's house to do their nails.
mhm.
Um, but I still think that palette would be a 10 out of 10. I like Cocoist paint pods. I like Medusa Nails paint pods.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my holy grail primer is Young Nails Protein Bonds. I
Mm-hmm.
really like their swipe. Get the swipe. It's the best dehydrator I've ever used. And I even use it to clean my brushes, like when I'm doing nail art every so often. I'll just dip it in there, put it on
Right.
a liquid wipe. Um, my top coats, I get them from Amazon pretty cheap. It's like $5 a bottle, and it's Beetles top coat. Sometimes I use their base coat.
Mm-hmm.
I like to use Macart gel, like Macart bling gel. Those are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Also, super good for 3D designs. I made some like 3D frogs the other day. I used Macart bling gel. Super good. I just hear it as I go. It stays right there. It's like the perfect viscosity for 3D art. Or like if you're trying to
Mm-hmm.
do water droplets, like you know how the water droplet nails were popping a second ago.
Right.
Perfect for the water droplets. And it's if you just wipe it real quick, you don't even have to put a top coat on it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's non-wipe, so it's pretty good. Let me see. What else? What else do I use? A lot of my charms and stuff I get from Amazon
Mm-hmm.
or Michael's. Go to the craft store.
Yeah.
If you want like crazy cool nail art charms, go to the craft store. That is the best place to find stuff. They always have coupons, they always have a sale. Like you don't need to be
Mm-hmm.
spending an arm and a leg to get nail charms from like a
Right.
nail brand online. Yeah. Occasionally I do though. I must admit. I'll go to Nail Lab. I live in LA and there's a nail supply store off of Venice Boulevard called the Nail Lab, and I go in there and get my little charms sometimes. They're cool.
Mm-hmm.
Where else do I go? I feel like yeah. Also, trendy nail supplies very good for the charms. It's pretty affordable and it's online. And
Mm-hmm.
then I used to get a lot of stuff from Nail Heaven Supply or Shop Nail Heaven. They're from
Mm-hmm.
Texas. Very good little glitters, but I don't do many encapsulated sets anymore, so I
Mm-hmm.
kind of laid off on the Shop Nail Heaven. And
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, that's pretty much my holy grail products. Cocoa Presto Gel. Oh yeah, my airbrush, air gel airbrush from Nail Labo, and
Mm-hmm.
their whole air gel like gel pod
Right.
paint stuff that goes in it. 10 out of
Mm-hmm.
10. Or you can get the One Air Professional system, which is from Russia. Also good.
Mm-hmm.
I like to use Really Hot Girl Nail stencils and Glam Nails 210
Mm-hmm.
stencils, as well as nail jerks. Super good. Love them all. Really Hot Girl has like the craziest stencils, I think, like the most out of the box thinking type of stencils. Like she has the Western stencil pack that is cool and like just really cute, like florals and butterfly stencils and stuff. I love her. Tribal stencils and Glam Nails
Mm-hmm.
210 also has really good ones. Yeah, so those are all the holy grails. I want to make a list. I want to make like a list or like a link tree where I could link all the stuff that I have. I'm gonna make
Mm-hmm.
that soon so that people could go in my bio and like look at what I buy my stuff from. I get a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
questions.
Yeah, yeah, that's really, really cool. Like I'm like into like 4D gel. I like using like, gel polish.
Mhm.
When I do like my nail murals, I love using like acrylic, like the traditional acrylic paint,
Yeah,
like in
yeah.
the acrylic, it's really, really
That would
cool.
I feel like that would be really good. Like that would make it a lot easier because you could go get the paints from anywhere instead of having to like have somebody ship over some gel to you. Like just get some acrylic paint. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. And also too, I just bought like this whole set of like Korean gels. I haven't tried it yet, but I
Oh,
heard a lot with like Korean gels. They're really, really good products, and they're
yeah,
very pigmented. And the thing
yeah.
is, what I like about what they do with their packaging, it just attracts the eye because it's so fun and playful.
Yeah. No, have you gone on like the Silabo website and like look at their stuff because they have all the
Yeah,
cute Korean and Japanese brands, and I'm obsessed. But I have to really stop myself and just look at my pockets and my bank account before
yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
nah, I'm starting to stick to things I've been using instead of just impulse buying all the cute Korean
Right.
gels and Japanese gels. Because for a second I was, especially during the pandemic, like the beginning of COVID. Oh my God, when we were getting all that unemployment money, I was buying so much like Zillabo Korean nail products. It was crazy. Every day was Christmas. I was getting packages.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, most definitely. But I also want to get your perspective in regards to like the economy. Like in your perspective, like how has the economy impacted nail art, especially in your perspective?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it seems like we're in a recession right now,
Hmm.
but that does not stop people from getting their beauty services done.
Right.
Like, your family will probably tell you go get a regular job. Like, the
Hmm.
beauty industry isn't stable, but it is. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter how down and out people are, they still want to get their hair done, their nails done, like, still want to get facials, waxes, whatever, Botox. It
Right.
doesn't matter. Like, beauty industry will hold you down if
Yeah.
you don't know what to do with your life. I tell people go get a cosmetology license because you could do so much. You can make so much money. Like,
Right.
you don't even have to overcharge people. You're just gonna have clients because people are always looking for a new service provider.
Right.
Yeah, in this economy, people are still spending money like crazy.
Right.
There's enough room for everybody to become a nail tech, a hairdresser, like whatever you want. There's enough room, there's enough people, there's enough money out there. It does
Hmm.
not matter if we're in a recession. The girlies are still gonna get their hair and nails done. It's fine. Like, especially
Hmm.
during COVID. I mean, it still is COVID, especially during quarantine when people are inside. They're still coming to my house with their
Right.
unemployment money. Like, I need that full set every 2 weeks. Yeah, like clockwork. So don't be
Hmm.
afraid because of what the news is like trying to tell you. People are still going to come to you and get their services done. Like, I'm not scared of any recession, to be honest. I'll still make my bread. I'll still make my money.
Hmm.
There's many different ways for you to make your money, whether it
Right.
be providing a service, being like a teacher and teaching what you know, or like working with brands. Like, um, social media has kind of opened up the like industry and
Hmm.
made things you would never thought possible.
Right.
Like working with these brands and working with celebrities and working on sets and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Like, the ways you can make your money is endless possibilities. Like, you just got to sit there and think of ways to make your money.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's it for that one.
Yeah, right, exactly. Most of that. But I can agree with you though. Like, the world is still going. People are
Yes.
still trying to get their nails done, get their hair done, and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah, still trying to get beautified,
Yes.
despite of the state of the economy. So,
Yeah.
that's the thing. But I also want to get into real quick, like what sets did you work at? Like, music videos, like what type of sets?
So I recently worked for Skims.
Okay.
I worked with L'Oreal. I
Mm.
Yeah, I got to work with FK Twigs. I worked with Alexander Wang.
Wow.
I worked with some celebrities. I worked with Lil Yachty. I worked with Bella Thorne. Like, I'm Bella Thorne's nail tech now,
All right now.
which is, yeah. And I go to her house like all the time and do her nails.
Wow,
Um,
really?
yes, yeah, which is super random. If you probably know Set by KJ, but she put me on. She was in my DMs one day and was like, "Hey, can you like do this house call real quick?" And I was like, "Yeah." So now I'm Bella Thorne's nail tech. So that's cool. The opportunities just keep coming and coming. That's another thing about social media. Like, that's why I say put your stuff out there because you
Right.
never know who's watching. Most of the times for
Yeah.
these things, I get hit up on Instagram in my DMs, like, and it is people you would never realize were working with these people. Like,
Right.
just with regular accounts, regular people. They don't have a blue check. They don't have a lot of followers. They hit you up and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm so and so's personal assistant. Can you please come by tomorrow on set? It's this much. This is the rate. Like, it's very last minute, but we need you." And that's how you get most of your work. Or like people
Yeah.
hit you up through your email when it's linked in your bio. Like, that is how you get your work. Um, you'd be surprised. Just put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to post your content, because you never know who's watching. You never know who's looking at your stuff and the opportunities that they could give you. So yeah, that's how it's done.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, most definitely. You never know who's looking.
Yes.
So yeah, that's how the opportunities come in, and it just opens so many doors, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So that's definitely the thing with that. But I also want to get into in regards to being an artist and a nail artist and everyday life, like how have you been able to balance the two?
I'm a workaholic. I love to work. Like, if I'm having a bad day, I'm gonna fill up my schedule.
Right,
So I must say I'm very bad at balancing work and play and just life in general.
right,
Don't be like me,
right.
please.
Hmm.
Like, you need to have a routine and a set schedule and
Yeah,
have boundaries with how much you work and how often you go out. Like, you need to set time aside to take care of yourself and take care of your body, because I know that we sit at like a desk and it may not seem hard, but it's super hard on my back. Like, I have insane back problems. It's
mm,
so bad. I need to do yoga. I need to stretch. Take your time to stretch.
right.
Go for a walk every day, eat healthy, go to a workout class, like, move your body. Because when you're sitting at a desk like that for hours on end, like, you start hunching over like this, you get shrug your shoulders just start hurting. You start seeing in the mirror how round your back is because you're like all day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you need to take care of yourself for sure.
Hmm.
I made a promise to myself recently that I was going to start going on walks, waking up when my boyfriend gets up for work at 5 in the morning and going on a walk, and stretching every day. Like, that is how I'm going to be nice to my body. Like, it's hard when you're just doing little nails and
Yeah,
you're
it's been like
super
that for so
close.
long. Like,
Yeah, it is hard on your body. Get your massages, go to the chiropractor if you need to, take your vitamins, get sun. During the winter when I was doing nails, like, I'd be in that room all day, but I had to like block out an hour of the day where I could go outside and sit in the sun, because my doctor was telling me that I was really vitamin D deficient because I was
oh,
sitting at that desk all day. So take your
mhm,
vitamins, go outside for a walk, get some air, drink your water, have
right.
snacks. I know it's a nail tech thing to like work all day, not take a break, and then finally it's 9 o'clock at night and you're eating your first meal. Don't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Set aside time in your schedule. Like, have 10 or 15 minutes between each client where you could like chill, relax, take a breather, like
Hmm.
you need that. You need to have that work and play balance for sure. It's important. Or else you're gonna run yourself into the ground, you're gonna be burnt out, and you're gonna like not enjoy the work that you do anymore. It's very easy to become burnt out. So take
Yeah.
time for yourself.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to have that balance. But also, simple as like how you said, taking breaks, because that's how you maintain not
Yeah,
only that work ethic, but also that passion for what you do. And the
exactly.
thing is, too, I was once vitamin D deficient. My deficiency was like low, so I had to take like a high dosage of IUDs of vitamin D.
Yeah, yes, yeah. My doctor was like, when you have a lot of melanin, like, it's important to go out into the sun because that's literally how we get our vitamin D. I was
Right?
like,
Yeah, yeah,
okay, I'm gonna go out to the sun at least an hour a day. I promised myself, so I do now. I go sit outside. Yeah, it's
yeah,
very
yeah.
important.
Yeah, I
Very.
go outside. I go outside, get into the sun and stuff like that. And that's the thing. Like, and also to another thing, I was like, used to think that we wouldn't use sunscreen. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, we need sunscreen.
Yes, we
You know what?
do.
We're melanated. We need sunscreen. We're black people.
Yes.
We need sunscreen still.
Yes. Oh my God, we really do. Don't sleep on sunscreen. For
Yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the thing with that. Last but not least, where can people find you on social media, and how can people support you and your work?
Um, well, find me on Instagram. Put them in a coffin. I don't know, save my pictures to boost my post the algorithm because
Right.
Instagram is shady. I don't know, book an appointment with me. It'll be chill. Come to the salon. I'll probably start selling press-ons in the future if anybody wants press-ons. I plan on teaching nail art classes and just classes in general in the future, like, for sure. So if
Mm.
anybody wants to learn, anybody wants to buy some press-ons, Find me on Instagram at puttheminacoffin.
All right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Tyler, for jumping on the show. I seen your work. Your work is absolutely great. It's
Thank you so
phenomenal.
much. Thank you.
Just thank you so much. I had a fun time. You're really chill, very cool.
So are you.
Thank you so much. This has been great.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're most welcome. Take care.
Thank you too.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms and visit my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care and stay beautiful.